Hi, this is Mrs. Lee from Todd Beamer High School, and this is Appendix C Activity number 4. And for this one, as you can see here, we are going to be solving for different variables, whatever variable they ask for. We're going to start a little bit different. We're going to start from the bottom. So if you have done this already, if you're looking for, oh, I want to know how to do number 1, I'll look towards the end of the video. All right, I'm going to go through it backwards because C is a bit easier than number 1. You see what I'm saying? Or C, I mean 6. 6 is a little easier than number 1. And I feel like it goes harder as you go up. So that's how we're going to do it. All right, so here we go. Let's start with number 6. And again, if you have not done these before, feel free to do them yourself. So press pause and then try it yourself. That's the best way to learn. And then watch and see how we do it here on the video. All right, so let's take a look at this one. So it says here C is equal to 2 pi r, for circumference, geometry. So solve for r. So basically, we're going to treat all the other variables, or technically pi is a number. It's just a really long number, right? And C, we're going to just treat just like a number because it is a number. We just don't know what that is, right? So again, we want just r. So I'm going to just highlight r right here. So we want r by itself. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just notice that the 2 and the pi are both multiplying with r. So I'm going to do this in one shebang. You ready for this? So I'm just going to divide both sides by 2 pi. And why divide? Because I'm trying to undo this multiply, right? And if you notice right here, what is 2 pi divided by 2 pi? Just 1, right? And so that's exactly what I want to get. Some people like to cross it out like this. If you don't like to do that, don't worry about it. And remember, what we do to one side on the right, we have to do the other to keep it equal. Because if not, it's going to be really like lopsided. We don't want that. So here we go. So what we have left here is just C over 2 pi is equal to r. I like to write it with the r on the left, whatever I'm solving for on the left-hand side. So r is equal to C over 2 pi. There we go, done. See? A little bit easier than number 1. All right, let's try number 5. So if you look at number 5 here, we do have 1/3 of V is equal to 1/3 of the base times height. Ooh, this is a volume of something, right? Think about what that would be. So again, here we want to solve for H. So we want, I'm just going to go like this. I'm going to just highlight H right here. We want H by itself. So what we're going to do is we're going to first, let's see, because if I could divide both sides by 1/3 b, but dividing by a fraction is kind of like it gets a little tricky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this fraction. Okay, so the way to do that is I'm just going to multiply both sides by 3. Okay, multiply both sides by 3. So when we do that, 3 times 1/3, what happens? Just 1, right? So the 3's cancel out here. And so all I have left is, I'm going to just write that over here. So 3v is equal to BH. All right. And again, whatever is capitalized, leave it as capital. And whatever is lowercase, leave it as lowercase because they are different variables. All right. So now we are going to, remember, we want H by itself, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to divide both sides by B. Right? Remember, B is just a number. We just don't know what it is. So then that leads us, it's going to be 3v over b is equal to h. So the height is equal to 3 times the volume, divide that by the base, whatever the shape is. All right, there we go. Oop, as I told you before, I like to write that with h equals, so let me just write that down. That was like a little bit bothering me. There we go. Normally I like to write going down like this, how I did for number 6. Here, I didn't really get a chance to do that here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do it this way. Let's see if I could. It won't let me. So never mind. I was going to see if I can just bring it down, but it's not going to do that. Never mind. We're good. So there we go. And so now let's take a look at number 4. So number 4 is A is equal to, I'm going to write number 4 right here. So A is equal to base, so area is equal to base times height. That's what this formula is, right? And oftentimes you'll use a lot of these, not these particular formulas, but like formulas in like physics, you'll have to change change around some of the variables, just like how we're doing here, and solve for different variables. So that will be pretty useful for you. So it's good to, there are some connections with other subjects. So again, we want to solve for h here as well. I'm going to just highlight my h right there. That's what I want to solve for. So what do? I got to get rid of the b. So divide both sides by b. And why do we divide? Because b is multiplying with h. So we undo that multiplication by dividing. All right. And so again, b divided by b is just 1. And then we get our answer of, I'm just going to put my h on the left to begin with. H is equal to a over b. Just like that. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the other ones. Now it gets a little bit, we introduce like adding and subtracting here, so it's a little bit more complicated, but not that much more complicated. So here, this is a linear equation in standard form, and we want to solve for y. This very useful. Okay, I know a lot of students use this one to graph equations. So here's my number 3. I'm going to just copy this down right here. And I am going to, it says solve for y, so I want y by itself. So there's a few things we need to do. First, we can't just divide this by 2x plus 3 because we're adding the 2x, and so you can't just divide that. It doesn't work that way. What we're going to do is we're going to actually subtract 2x first. Okay, so it's the way you would normally solve an equation. And again, you just pretend like x is just a number, and actually x is just a number. We just don't know what that number is. So we're going to take that whole thing out. So what's 2x minus 2x? 0 x's, right? No x's. So that cancels out. And what do we have left? It's just going to be 3y is equal to, and what I like to do is I like to write this in slope-intercept form. If you don't remember what slope-intercept form is, look back at Appendix B, Activity 11. I think that's the one. Don't quote me on it, but you can look in your thing. But I like to put the x first, so negative 2x plus 21, just like that. And then the last thing is to get rid of that 3. Remember, the 3 is multiplying with the y, so opposite of multiplying is dividing. So some people like to just do these individual little 3s, or you could just put one big 3 on the right-hand side. Up to you. I'm going to just do it individually like this right here. Just make sure you divide everything by 3. That's how it should be. And so this is going to be y is equal to, and that's just going to be negative 2/3 x plus 21 divided by 3, which is 7. And please make sure your x is at the side and not towards the bottom next to the 3, because that would be a whole different kind of graph. All right, so just make sure it's right there on the side. All right, so let's take a look at number 2. Slowly getting more complicated as we go higher. I know, weird, but that's the way it is. So I'm going to, let's see if we have a little bit more room here. I'm just going to bring this down here. I'm going to go whoop, right here. All right, and I'm going to be copying this down. So y minus 7 is equal to, oh, this is number 2, by the way. Y minus 7 is equal to 1/2 times 4x minus 12. All right, so there are 2 ways to solve this. I will say, normally what I like to do is I like to get rid of the fraction first before I even distribute it by multiplying by 2 on both sides. I would, if you are adventurous, try it out. If you're like, I'm gonna hold off on that, I just want to distribute, go for that too. Either way is perfectly fine. So in this case, though, I am going to just multiply both sides by this 1/2. I'm going to not multiply both sides by 1/2. I'm going to just distribute this 1/2 because I know that both of these two guys are even, so it'll go in there evenly. So I'm not too worried about that part. So here we go. So y minus 7 is equal to 1/2 times 4x, which is going to be 2x, and 1/2 times this 12. It's going to be minus half of 12, 6, just like that. All right, and then from here, what we're going to do is, what do I want to solve for? Oh yes, x. I want to solve for x. Gotta always figure that out. So here we go. I'm going to just highlight this guy because I'm like, I got to remind myself that's what I'm solving for, or else it's like I forget and then I don't know what I'm doing. All right, here we go. So I want to get x by itself. So what I'm going to do, again, we got to get rid of the minus and add and subtract first, and then get rid of your multiply divide. Right, so I'm going to add 6 to both sides, and here I do have a common, like there are like terms here. So this is going to be y minus 1 is equal to 2x, and then I'm going to divide both sides by, oops, I like to have that different colors. Divide by 2, divide by 2. All right, and then so we're going to have x is equal to y over 2 minus 1 over 2. Yeah, I don't like that. Okay, the other way we could have done that is just x is equal to y minus 1 over 2. That one I like better. All right, and so let me just backtrack really quick. The reason why I did that, just personal preference. Right, so remember I said we got to divide 2 on both sides. You can just do a big divide by 2. So if you remember right over here, I divided every single part by 3, and I said, oh, or you can divide the whole right hand side by 3. This is that same idea, except it just, for me, this just looks nicer. I don't know why. But if you were to leave it in this form right here, where's my mouse? There it is. If you wrote this right here, that's fine too. Still the same answer. Okay, I just personally prefer the bottom one. That's all. No biggie. All right, so now we got our, now we're to the number one problem right here. It was like a countdown, right? So now we're at number 1. And so again, we're solving for C. So I'm just going to highlight that one. And again, we're going to treat these two guys like they're just numbers. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to do what I did to all of the other add and subtract ones. I'm just going to, okay, so I know there's a little trick here. So I'm going to add 3a and I'm going to add 7b to both sides. I'm going to do both of them. It's like 2 steps in one, right? A 2 for 1, because that'll just save me some time and less things to write, right? So that means that, I always like that line there, is that both of these cancel out. Do you see? And what do I have left is just this 12c. I'm just going to write that up here. So let me write that down. So all I have left is 12c is equal to, now none of these are like terms. So I'm going to write this in alphabetical order. So it's going to be 3a plus 7b. That's a plus, by the way, plus 18. So you guys may be like, well, where'd you get the plus from? Remember that this is a positive, so it's plus 18, right? Because all we're doing is adding these guys up. So then from here, all we're going to do is just divide by this 12. So we're going to divide by 12 on both sides. I don't think that looks like a very much different color, but that top color is red. The bottom color is orange. Just FYI. So here we get C is equal to 3a plus 7b plus 18. Divide that by 12. Just like that. Boom. Literal equations done. All right. Hopefully that was helpful for you. And go back and look at any of the stuff that you weren't too sure of. Try it yourself. Try maybe a different way, right? Have a good rest of the day.